And we're back again. There have been 268 games played this NFL season, and there's only one left, and then we're going to have to watch hockey. Just kidding.
Oh
We,
no.
we would never do that. But, guys,
Why would anyone ever want to do such a thing?
this game is pretty big, though. I mean, it is the biggest game of the year. There'll probably be like a
The
few
Super
people.
Bowl.
I think maybe at
I thought that's the
least,
Pro Bowl.
well, might have at least 5-10 people watching this game from around the local area. We'll see if it spreads. But yeah, I mean, it's the Super Bowl. Well, all jokes aside, Kansas City, Tampa Bay is hosting. Home field advantage or not? I don't know.
Someone's going to Disneyland.
Let's have the expert Jack break this one down.
Right. Well, with this matchup between Kansas City and Tampa Bay, a lot of people probably wouldn't have predicted that Tampa Bay was going to get there, but they have Tom Brady. So once they ended up in the Super Bowl, I don't think anybody was surprised. As for Kansas City, they've been lethal all season. In the AFC Championship game, they overwhelmed the Buffalo on their way to their second straight Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a very good game. And the battle between these two teams the first time was actually a 27-24 game, but it was 27-10 at one point. Tampa kind of scored a couple touchdowns late in the game, a couple turnovers by Tom Brady in the middle of that one. So I wonder if this one's going to be a little closer, but we'll have to see what happens. I think it's just going to be a very close, hard-fought battle between two very good football teams.
And we'll be giving our predictions at the end of this live on the air because, to be honest, we forgot to do it before the air. So we're going to do it live. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think this will be a very interesting game. More so a battle of legacies versus the up-and-comer. Sort of a Jordan LeBron-esque thing, except they never got to play each other. I think that's pretty fair to say. But really what we got to look at during this game is it's going to come down to a couple plays. I know both these teams' offenses are great, but it's really going to be, I think, more of a defensive game than people are giving it credit for. And you'll see that in my prediction later on. But Dante, I mean, what are you thinking about right now?
I don't think it's gonna be defensive focused. That's what you're saying, but I think it's gonna be whoever's defense steps up the most. Whoever team gets like probably 5 stops, I think is gonna win the game. The way these two teams have been playing,
So it's
because
plus
they've
or
just been
minus
driving at will.
5 stops. So if a team gets 4 stops, they're going to get blown out. But 5 is the magic number.
Not blown
So
out,
keep
but
that in mind.
I think whoever gets 5 stops is gonna win the game. Because if the Bucks stop the Chiefs 5 times, then definitely see them winning. So I think the Bills only stopped them like once.
I think twice in the game total, but it wasn't nearly enough.
Well, they just let them do that. They were just messing with them.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's definitely going to be, this game's like really big for Mahomes' legacy, more than Brady's, I think. Brady's, if he wins, it's just like, oh, another one.
I think Brady's the go either way. I'm not even sure if Mahomes wins that he can catch him.
Yeah, if Mahomes wins, then there's a chance he could catch him. I still don't think he does in his career, but that door is open. But if Brady beats Mahomes, then I think it's just over. The talk's done. So if you can't even beat a 43-year-old Brady, then it's like, oh, how could you be the GOAT?
I would think that this game, it defines Patrick Mahomes' legacy much more than Tom Brady's. I agree with you there, just because, I mean, Brady's already won 6 Super Bowls as it is. If he wins a 7th one, he's going to ride off into the sunset with more than any other player, and I don't think anyone's ever going to match it. But with Mahomes, I mean, he has a chance to repeat like Brady did back in 2003 and 2004, and he's already got 2 Super Bowls and 3 AFC Championship appearances if that happens. I just think Mahomes, as a quarterback, is the most talented in the league. He's up there, and Brady has been in that category for years and years. But in terms of Super Bowls, Kansas City just, I think, has a slightly more talented offense than Tampa Bay does. But as Dante said, I think if the Tampa defense can get enough stops, then that's going to be the key, because stopping Kansas City's offense is not an easy task. And then you have Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill to defend. So,
well, I like the Tampa offensive line and the run game more than the Kansas City. And Kansas City already had a couple COVID problems with their starting center. The left tackle's been a little bit injured. Their run game, they have a little bit question marks there. I mean, Le'Veon Bell isn't exactly world beater anymore. And you can ask the Jets about that one. But Tampa Bay, I mean, they also have some defense. I mean, who's that guy? Little number 10 on Tampa Bay that ran down the
What's that
sideline?
guy's name? What's that guy's name? Scotty Miller. I mean, making a couple plays here in the postseason.
According to him, he thinks he could beat Tyreek Hill in a drag race. So maybe they should do that pregame before the coin flip. We could bet on that as well. Let's see who can win that one.
Be interesting to see based on speed, but I think Tyreek Hill, in terms of speed, just takes the championship in terms of speed. No question about it.
No question.
I mean, Tyreek Hill, he's the fastest guy in the league, pretty much.
Not according to
In terms of
StatCast.
receivers.
Tyreek Hill or Usain Bolt?
You're saying
Your
Scotty
prediction
Miller
on
would
that?
be as fast as Tyreek Hill?
I'm saying Daniel Jones ran faster than him this year, according to StatCast.
Yes, he did. But did Daniel Jones get into the postseason? He did not, unfortunately.
Well, he'll be.
But we're not talking about that. We're just talking about fast.
We'll be watching the game from the same spot we are, on the couch.
From the
Some
couch.
nachos
Mhm.
and a bag of Lay's. Maybe not.
Getting
Lay's.
back into the dynamic of the game too. Do you guys think that that Travis Kelce is going to have over 130 yards receiving in this game?
No,
My answer would be yes.
He's gonna have 129. Sorry, you lost.
Oh, okay. 129 instead of 130. All right, Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, Travis Kelce.
Need I pull up the standings right now? Let's show everyone the standings for the playoffs. Dante right now 5-1, and then there's me at 4-2, and then Jack's barely at 500, 3-3. So before you take Jack's
3-3.
credibility on the 130 yards, just think about that for a second. You taking my 129? Or are you taking his 130?
He did say Aaron Jones is the best running back in the league.
All right, I just want to put that out there for everyone, and we will make our predictions soon.
I did have that take, Dante, unfortunately, but anyway. In this game, I think I agree with Jason. If you look at the offensive line of Kansas City, they've shuffled around quite a bit, and the defensive line of Tampa is one of the best in the league with Shaq Barrett and a couple of other elite pass rushers, including Jason Pierre-Paul, who's been to a Super Bowl, and he knows what the experience is like to win one. So I think his leadership will be key for them.
All he knows how to do is
one.
beat Tom Brady. He doesn't know how to win with Tom Brady.
Yeah, so maybe
he won enough to get to the Super Bowl.
Well, we'll see what happens on that front. I think the pass rush, though, you bring it up, it's going to be critical for Tampa because if they can't get pressure, I mean, it's over. It's going to be.
Well, Mahomes scrambles around there like crazy.
It's going to be
you
Buffalo.
See it every game.
It's going to be the Buffalo game all over again. They're just going to score in every possession. You have to get pressure on Mahomes, and I think Tampa will. They got two veterans off the edge there. Those aren't rookies. Shaq Barrett, JPP. Those guys have been around. Been around the league. Been on different teams. They've won with different teams. JPP has won a ring in New York, so he knows what it takes to be great. And I think they're saving something. I think you're going to see something a little bit unexpected, sort of a Von Miller-esque 2015 ride, where maybe they can make a few plays that you didn't expect.
I could see that, but also in that 2015 game, Cam did not go for the fumble. I think Mahomes would dive on a fumble if he were to lose the ball in the first place.
Well, we can bet on that too. You taking the over/under?
I'd say Mahomes will not lose a fumble. Will
be on top or underneath the pile?
Probably underneath, considering he's a quarterback. So,
what does that have to do with anything? You saying he's less dense? You trying to chemistry me here?
He's going to get crushed by all those linemen.
What's his viscosity? Is he not thick?
Oh, geez. Now we're getting into your science of it.
Viscosity?
Yeah, it's like corn syrup, or is he more like water?
I don't know. Good question.
Specific questions we'll leave to the audience to figure out. You can leave a comment.
Yes, we will. Oh, jeez.
Nah, I mean, Mahomes definitely dive on the ball, though. I don't think he'd just let it go by him.
I mean, Cam, when that ball was fumbled, Dante, you saw it. He basically went away from it. So.
Yeah, he saw Von Miller running at him. He was scared.
And in this Super Bowl, Jason, since we saw the 2011 and 2007 Giants, that the pass rush is going to be critical. So if they force Mahomes to turn the ball over at least once or twice, it just throws Kansas City off because he never turns the ball over. So if he does turn the ball over, it'll change the dynamic of this game.
And Super Bowls tend to be lower scoring. There was one a few years back with the Eagles and the Patriots that was extremely high scoring.
Insane, yeah.
But generally speaking, I mean, if you look back to last year, 31-20 seems like high scoring, but I mean, it was 20-10 in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, that's pretty low scoring game, especially considering teams. So I would say that to expect a 54-51 finish is a bit unrealistic, but I mean, we'll see what you guys have to say with that in a few minutes here. But a couple more things I think we need to discuss before the game. The fact that there will be fans at this game. Is that not true?
It is true. Vaccinated healthcare workers are getting free tickets from state of Florida, which I thought was a nice gesture.
And the Patriots owner's paying for some people's tickets too.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. So
But
they could go see Brady play.
I see. Well, it's been a
Yeah,
very
they're
interesting year on all fronts.
for sure. I don't
What's
think we'll
the
ever see a year like this one.
What do you think is the over/under on whether or not the Cannons get fired, Jason?
The Tampa Bay Canyons.
Yeah, do you
Oh,
think they're gonna get
under.
fired or not? They're not allowed
No.
to, but you think someone's gonna accidentally do it after a touchdown?
Probably
No.
plus 300. Yeah, take some decent money on that.
I say no. Absolutely, I say no.
Absolutely not. You don't think one guy's gonna risk his job to fire the Cannon?
It's a neutral site game, which means if they do anything like that, it totally messes up the flow of
So
things.
I don't
Even
know
though
if
they're in their home stadium.
did anyone look this up? Is the NFC the home team this year, or is it the AFC?
The AFC is the home team.
So
The
Tampa
Chiefs are
Bay.
wearing their red jerseys.
So the Chiefs will be in the Tampa Bay locker room in Tampa Bay. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I believe so. They'll be wearing their red jerseys while Tampa wears their white ones.
Tampa's going to be in their locker room for the first time on the other side. Maybe that'll throw them
Strange.
off a little bit.
I think so. I don't know. But honestly, this is the first ever home team to play in their home stadium for a Super Bowl. Does that put a little bit more pressure on the Bucs? We'll have to see. But I think with Tom Brady, there's no pressure there whatsoever. He's been to so many that he's used to it.
I mean, I don't think it puts pressure on them. If anything, it helps them.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. It's not about the crowd environment because it's a neutral site and there's only going to be 22,000 people there. But it's more so for the last 2 weeks, they've got to stay in their homes and sleep in their own beds. Well, Kansas City had to travel. I believe today they traveled down there and then they got to sleep in a hotel and catch the bus to the stadium. You know, it's a little bit of an advantage for Tampa.
Yeah, did you guys hear about that crazy thing with the barber for Kansas City where he tested positive and then he left the guy half shaven on his head for his haircut? That was
I
pretty
didn't
funny.
hear they left them half shaven, but that was the lineman, right?
Yeah, the lineman, he had half of his hair cut off and the other half was still there.
I hope he keeps that for the game. That'd be great if he won MVP.
Oh, it'd be hilarious. Imagine seeing him in his post-game interview. I got the haircut for this.
Is he an offensive or defensive lineman?
Offensive, I believe.
Has an offensive
Kansas
lineman
City.
ever won MVP?
No,
No,
I
definitely
can
not.
take a
That'd
guarantee on
that'd
that.
be
This game.
insane.
There's a few positions that I don't think will be in consideration. In fact,
Offensive lineman, not.
if anyone besides a quarterback wins MVP for this game, I'd be shocked.
I mean, maybe.
I was seeing
you could
Fournette
consider-
winning
Go ahead, Dante. Sorry.
on a few places. They were like predicting him.
Yeah, I just don't see it. Even if Brady has a mediocre game, they'll give it to him if he wins. Same thing
Yeah,
with
unless
How
Mahomes.
many-
Fournette rushes for like 200 yards, like 3 touchdowns or
Like,
something,
all-
I can't see him.
All the winning quarterback needs to do is throw like a touchdown pass and win the game. Have a couple good moments in the fourth quarter. This bar
Jason,
is
how
pretty
many
low.
how many MVPs does Tom Brady have in the Super Bowl out of his 6 already?
It's 4 or
Is it
5.
3 or 4? Yeah.
He definitely didn't get it his
Edelman
first
won
time.
1 year, right?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
Edelman won, and he didn't win his first time either. So yeah, he has at least 3.
All right, so how many touchdown passes do you think he needs to throw to win MVP? Just one, or would you go over on that?
I really just think if he just throws one, but it's like the game-winning touchdown, like that's it. Like he gets it. They'll just give it to him
Yeah, I
based on
could see that.
legacy alone.
I mean, I would think that, the league favors quarterbacks so much that they want to see him be successful, especially in the Super Bowl. So normally the quarterback's going to win the MVP. Rarely a defensive player might win it. Like Von Miller won it in 2015, right? If I'm not mistaken. And could happen in another Super Bowl.
Occasionally a pass rusher will win it. That's why I said look out for JPP. But Jack, you seem to have a lot of thoughts about this game. I think it's time to hear Jack's Super Bowl prediction.
All right, here we go with the Super Bowl prediction. Play the music, Jason.
Jack, is it going to be rigged like the last game you said, or you think this one's going to be a fair game?
I don't think the Super Bowl is rigged, my friend. I will not make an argument in the Super Bowl being rigged.
Okay, so just the championship game was rigged, though.
Listen, that's a whole nother ball game. Anyway, enough with the rigging. There's no rigging involved in this league. But with that being said, I will go with a higher scoring Super Bowl this year, one of the highest scoring in a long time. We'll go Kansas City 38, Tampa Bay 35, with a late touchdown by Travis Kelce, pass from Patrick Mahomes late in the fourth quarter, to put them over the top and get them their second straight Super Bowl.
So you're saying 38, 35.
To 35. Kansas City.
Jeez. All right, well.
Who wins MVP?
MVP will go to Patrick Mahomes, because I think he would have 4 touchdown passes if they end up winning by 38-35.
And now, maybe Dante can give a little more detailed description of the game besides that. I mean, it's good to have a good prediction, Jack, but my goodness, I mean, 10-second prediction, I mean, dang.
I think it's going to be Bucks 28, Chiefs 24. I think the first quarter is going to be the highest scoring out of them, like all the quarters. I think it's going to be like 14-14 maybe, the end of the first. They go into halftime, teams slow it down, you know. And then the third quarter is all going to be all about the defense. That's where they're all getting stops, and neither team can move the ball. The fourth quarter, I think, is when Brady puts them away.
So you're saying MVP
wins by
is Brady?
4 points. Yep.
Well, Dante, do you think that?
Definitely. I think this game's gonna be pretty chaotic, though. I think they're gonna score like pretty fast when they do score, but.
Do you think Brady throws a late touchdown pass to put the Bucks over the top, or will they be ahead already?
I think they'll be ahead, and the Chiefs will get a chance, but there won't be enough time on the clock.
Okay, I could see that. Could see how that could happen.
What about you, Jason? What's your expert prediction?
This game is back and forth, but it's back and forth with some field goals thrown in there. You know, first quarter, both teams go down the field. They score a touchdown, 7-7. They both flex their muscles a little bit, but then defensive coordinators Steve Spagnuolo in Tampa Bay. We all remember Todd Bowles when he used to coach in this town in New York, well, New Jersey. But he was here, and we laughed him out of town. But he's a dang good defensive coordinator. These two guys are going to go at it for the next 2 quarters. And at the end of the third quarter, you're going to be talking about a game that's about 16, 13-ish. One team will be on top, another team. Who cares about the semantics of that all? Ultimately, what's going to happen? Mid-fourth quarter, Mahomes does what he does every single game. He goes down the field, gets that touchdown, puts them up 23-13. Tampa Bay gets that field goal back. Then they get that key stop on Mahomes. Get the ball back with 3-4 minutes left. Tom Brady goes down the field, throws it up, and it's going to be Scotty Miller on the drag route for the touchdown. And it's going to be 23-23 with under a minute to go. And then the extra point, it's sailing right. It's good. Off the upright, double doink, but in. 24-23. But there's still 45 seconds left on the clock. They give it back. Mahomes has the ball. He's driving down the field. Gets to midfield. And completes it in a tremendous play to Tyreek Hill down into the field goal range. But there's a holding penalty. And the game's rigged. Jack's screaming off his couch. It's rigged. But it doesn't matter. The 10-second runoff ends the game. And Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl 24-23. And that's right. He's also the MVP, of course, because he's Tom Brady.
I like that prediction, Jason, but you asked me a little bit more about what I think is going to happen in this game. And I think it's going to be even more entertaining than that in terms of the scoring. With Kansas City getting the ball back late, I really think the difference is going to be Kansas City will get down there and score quickly. All season, they've scored in less than a minute, or maybe not less than a minute, but on drives where they've needed to score touchdowns, I've seen Mahomes take them down the field each time. He's got that clutch gene in him, just like Brady does. I mean, I could see Tampa Bay winning by 1, but getting a defensive stop late in the fourth quarter is going to be tough for them, especially the first time they met. They tried to get a stop on defense down by 3, and they couldn't do it. So I don't know if they'll be able to do it in this game. I mean, their defense is playing much better now than it was mid-season, though. So we'll have to see if that's going to become a determining factor late in this game. Also, Tyreek Hill, we didn't even talk about it, had 203 receiving yards in the first quarter. So if Dante's talking about a first quarter where it's going to be 14-14 before we even blink, maybe Tyreek Hill plays a big part in that as well. What are your thoughts on that, Dante? Do you think Tyreek Hill's going to take over this game a bit early on?
I mean, of course, he's Tyreek Hill. I think he'll probably have 115 yards receiving this entire game. Travis Kelce, I think he'll have like 93. I don't think he'll get over 100 again like they've been doing the past couple games together, but yeah, I mean, obviously, they're the two best players besides Mahomes. They're going to play a key factor in the game.
Well, Travis Kelce is being covered by Devin White. I mean, I like the chances of him getting under 100 yards, but I already said 130, so I might get burned based on my prediction. But we'll see what happens. Jason's got 129 over here, but Jason, do you see it being a bit crazy early on with these offenses? You know, you said 7-7 before you even blink, so.
You know, they want to flex their muscles when they come out the joint. They've been sitting around for 2 weeks. It's time to go. It's time to show them that, you know, they're not going to be sitting out here 3-3 at the half, you know? They're going to do something.
I think also that they made a good point about the Tampa Bay running game, and so did you, Jason, that the running game for Tampa Bay is not significantly better than Kansas City's, but it has more of an ability to take over at certain points. Like Fournette had some runs in that championship game where he really basically imposed his will on the Packers. So I could see him being the primary running back with some Ronald Jones carries, but maybe not too many. If Fournette gets 100 yards, 100 yards rushing, I think the Bucs win the game. But I already predicted Kansas City.
Do you think he wins MVP if he gets 100 yards rushing?
If he gets over 100 yards rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns, I'd say yes. But not one rushing touchdown. He'd have to have 2, in my opinion.
What if Brady throws for 3 touchdowns?
Then Brady will probably win MVP. Like Jason said, if he even throws 1 touchdown, they win the game. He'll probably win it, even if Leonard Fournette has a better game.
No, I think if Fournette gets 2 touchdowns over 100 yards and Brady only has 1 touchdown, I think they'll give it to Fournette.
Fournette, he's been through a lot, especially considering the Jaguars basically gave up on him. So the fact that he got this opportunity and now he's in the Super Bowl is just really good for him. I mean, there's no reason not to like Leonard Fournette as a football player. I mean, he's super talented. The Jaguars just let him go, and he was a first-round pick.
Well, we haven't made the most important prediction yet, which is heads or tails for the coin flip.
Oh,
Heads.
boy. I'll take tails.
I say neither. It's a chocolate coin, and the ref catches it halfway and eats it. That's my prediction.
You think they'll see who starts with the ball based on whoever wins that race between
That's
Tyreek
Dude, that'd
Hill?
be awesome. Imagine if they determined it a different way from a coin toss to see who gets the ball to start the game.
XFL
I'd
used to
love to
put the
see
ball
that.
at like the 30-yard line, have 2 guys run after it, try to recover the fumble. This is kind of fun.
That's
Really?
even more interesting. Like a coin toss, it's basically the oldest way to determine it, but like it'd be more exciting to see something else, I think.
You have the 2 head coaches try and recover the fumble.
See how fast Andy Reid can eat a cheeseburger before the game?
Oh, well, he's going to win that one.
He said he's got a double cheeseburger ready if he wins the Super Bowl, or right after.
If he wins,
Did
if he loses, he's got 10.
Oh boy, yeah.
Did you see the comments by Brady that he's already looking to how to get better next season?
He already said that before this game.
Yeah,
He's still mentioning.
He said
how
that
to
he's
get
already
better?
looking to get better next season. He's going to change up his training to be better. I think he was joking on this part, but he said he was going to focus on his running game a bit more.
Yeah, right. His QB sneak game for 1 yard. His running game.
Hey, don't underrate that QB sneak.
Sometimes that QB sneak works effectively on the goal line. I wonder if they'll use that play during the game.
He's going to sneak it for 50 yards. You already watch. That's my
50 yards.
That's gonna be the
Imagine
stat.
a quarterback sneak for 50 yards.
He's going to like
Does
dive
that ever
forward
happen?
and no one's going to touch him. He's just going to get up and jog into the end zone.
I do think that if a key 4th and 1 comes up, they might call the sneak for Brady. They do the same thing with Mahomes sometimes for Kansas City. But Kansas City, you ever notice they love that rollout play where he rolls out to the right and passes it to Tyreek Hill? They've used it at least 3 times this season on and one situations.
And one. And do we have anyone else who wants to comment on this game before we call it a day? Because, we have a lot of hockey to break down as well.
Oh, sure. We got a bunch of hockey games to watch after this.
And I guess the Knicks are on for Jack, so he can have his heart broken again.
Yes.
I think the Knicks are still winning, right, Jack?
Well, they're up by 9. They were just up by 14. They're doing their best. They're giving it their best effort to blow it.
You can
just
see
like
this
they were
man's
the
really
other day.
dedicated to the podcast.
Listen, I gave you how I felt about the Super Bowl. I just wanted to tell you the Knicks try to blow some games in the fourth quarter.
I know this isn't the basketball podcast, Jack, but where do you see the Knicks ending their season? What seed?
I could see the Knicks ending up at 10th as the
10th
final
seed.
Yeah.
You're not very optimistic about their chances.
The Knicks, they're hanging around like 500 this year, but they're so streaky. Like they'll win 2 or 3 games in a row and then they lose 5 in a row. So it's hard to see a team like that getting higher than 10th in the Eastern Conference. I mean, between 4 and 12, it's very jumbled up. So we'll have to see if the Knicks can stay competitive or if they start to fall off by losing some games.
Who do you think has better hopes for the next season? I know the NBA season just started not too long ago, but going to the next season, who has better hopes, the Giants or the Knicks?
I would take the Giants
or the Mets,
just because the Giants they have the most promise in terms of they just need a couple more players and they can get their team basically over the top from where it was this year because it was the offense that was the Giants' problem this year, not their defense. So we'll have to see what the Giants do this offseason, but eventually we'll be talking about it because free agency starts less than a month after the Super Bowl ends.
That'll be an exciting one for sure.
I don't know, Dante. I know you're high on the Lakers this year. I really think they have a chance to win another title. So if they end up winning another title, I know you'll be happy for LeBron. We'll see what happens. Clippers are good this year. Jazz are up there, but I don't think the Jazz are going to stay where they are. They're number 1 in the West.
I think they'll finish like top 4. I think they'll finish at number 3. But are they contenders? I still don't believe it. But we'll see. You never know.
Well, they never seem to get out of the first round of the playoffs. That's their problem.
Well,
yeah.
Last time I checked, this was a Super Bowl podcast, but it's always good to hear your NBA predictions.
Another day.
Got to get a little into basketball, Jason, because the Knicks game was on.
We might be confusing a few people at the end there, but hey, guys.
Let's talk about baseball.
Yeah, sure.
Next time.
But yeah, that's all going to be coming up later on. I mean, after this, we're going to have to do something else. So you can leave a comment, ask what do you want to hear about next. Hopefully something we are a little more knowledgeable about than
Let's hope so.
The ATP Tour of Tennis this year. But anyway, guys, signing off. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Until next time.
Thanks for joining us. Drink some beers, watch the game, have some fun.